Good morning to everybody. It is such a pleasure to see you again. I recognize people that I saw yesterday at the embassy, and today you are much more numerous, of course. I understand that some people came from university, from academia, of which we are very much happy. Mr. Chairman, dear scholars, dear students, friends from the Lithuanian and the Jewish community, ladies and gentlemen, dear all. Indeed, I'm very much greatly honored today to open this conference on Lithuanian Jewry and continuation. My special thanks for organizing the conference go to Mr. Mark Yever, Director of the UCL Institute of Jewish Studies, Professor Polonsky, our friend, Professor Francois Guinea, our friend, and Mr. Andrzej Huta. Thank you for all your efforts to make this conference. I understand it was not simple, but amazing. Thank you very much. Today we will discuss the rich and vibrant history of Jews in Lithuania, which spread for almost 600 years, more than 600 years. I'm not a historian, but let me remind you of a few interesting facts about the Jewish presence in my country's diplomatic realm, as I'm a diplomat, so I take out of the context of this diplomatic sector. For hundreds of years, the Lithuanian Jewry was part of the educated and the intellectual part of the society, of the Lithuanian society. 90 years ago, when the Republic of Lithuania was created, they took the most active part in the process of creating the new born state. They were elected to the Lithuanian parliament, took on diplomatic posts, served in the army. I would like to mention a few of these great names. And back in the 1920s, the chairman of the Vilna Jewish community, Liauskiene-Welcome, became the first minister for Jewish affairs in Lithuania. And the very post was a completely new phenomenon in our history. Another man, Shimshon Rosenbaum, a famous Zionist movement activist, became Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and was a member of the Lithuanian delegation to negotiate the peace treaty with Soviet Russia. By the way, when we speak about this peace treaty with Soviet Russia, there is that famous joke, I will tell you. You know that back in the 1920s, the Lithuanian state was created, and that meant that the border with Soviet Russia was non-existent. This border was to be determined. And how to determine the border? So we negotiated, the chief negotiators for these two sides, the Jewish people, one from Lithuania, the other from Russia. Okay. So the other one, it's okay now? Yes. Why didn't you tell it? Okay. So these two negotiators, to negotiate the border, the frontier, yeah? Where to put the frontier? Two men sitting at the table, having a map of this, what was used to be Tsarist Russian Empire, and drawing the line of the future Lithuanian borders with Russia. So they two were Jewish, one Lithuanian, the other Russian. And well, the idea came to them because they didn't know where exactly this border should be. Sent some people to explore the situation on the ground, and then to determine what kind of Yiddish people on the ground speak. Yeah. So they went to the shtetls, little towns, and then they listened. And if people spoke Lithuanian Yiddish, this shtetl must be on the Lithuanian side. And if they spoke Russian dialect of Yiddish, this is already Russian. So the border was drawn on the map just according to the language spoken. Lithuanian Yiddish or Russian Yiddish. This is not that joke, in fact. It has some very rational grounds. And indeed, this border served us for more than 20 years, till 1940, when Lithuania was occupied. But back to those great men, Lithuanian Jews. I must tell one more name. Nachman Rachmilevich. Nachman Rachmilevich is another great example. He was Vice Minister of Industry and Trade, and both Rachmilevich and earlier mentioned Rosenbaum, they left for Eretz Israel, Palestine at the time, and they served as Lithuanian honorary consuls in then Palestine. So we have the Jewish presence in then Palestine back in 30s, which is very important, which is still very important for us. Well, to conclude the list of great Litvaks in pre-war times, I must also mention one more name. He was a member of the Lithuanian Parliament, Max Solveichik, who worked on behalf of Lithuania at the Paris Peace Conference. Again, Paris Peace Conference was very important for Lithuanian future. Later on, he moved to London, by the way, as a member of the World Zionist Congress Committee. These great men made their contribution to the prosperity of my country. Also being Zionists, they were among the founding fathers of the State of Israel. And yesterday we had a discussion with Mr. Genet concerning Israeli-Lithuanian relationship. But this topic is a little bit different from the topic of today, so I will not elaborate on it further on. Next time, perhaps, you will want to make another conference. The Republic of Lithuania, pre-war Lithuania, existed till the break of the Second World War, until Soviet and then Nazi occupation. And then came the Shoah, the catastrophe. And we know that the Lithuanian, the greatest part of the Lithuanian community perished in it. Alas, for many years, these facts and the very fact of annihilating this community were dissimulated under the name of the Soviet citizens being killed by the Nazis. And indeed, I must say that the Soviet authorities were reluctant to acknowledge the Jewish genocide. Under the Soviet citizens' term, the Jewish were just a secondary notion. I must say that after regaining independence, Lithuania assumed the work of historical justice. I spoke about it more yesterday. But let me say a few other things. Lithuania acknowledged the responsibility of those who collaborated with the Nazis and killed thousands of Jews. Back in 1995, the Lithuanian president, the then president, Mr. Krasavsky, he went to Israel and he spoke at the Knesset, he spoke in Parliament, and he expressed his excuses on behalf of the country for those Lithuanians who took part in killing the Jews. So these excuses are still valid. There can be no pardon for people who have done it. We honor the memory of the Shoah victims. You know that in Lithuania, the 23rd of September is a commemoration of ghetto liquidation. It's a symbol of the memory of the Lithuanian Jewish community. And we are also very proud of those 800 Lithuanian men and women, the righteous among the nation, Hasidei Umar Haolam, who saved the lives of their Jewish neighbors. I must say that today in Lithuania there is a small but very active Jewish community, and I'm very glad that the president of this community is among us today and is participating in this conference. Coming back to the topic of our discussion this morning, what is a Litvak? Let me quote the Israeli president, Shimon Peres, who himself, as you may know, is a Litvak. He was born in Vishnavets, which is nowadays a Belarusian territory, but he considers himself to be one of the Litvaks. So some years ago, we celebrated the anniversary of Israeli-Lithuanian diplomatic relationship, and Shimon Peres was a guest of ours. So in his speech, great speech, he said, I quote, "You cannot be Jewish unless you are Lithuanian." The end of quote. Well, I suppose that you may want to further elaborate on this statement during your discussions today. Let me wish you a very fruitful discussion, and thank you for everything.